I clearly heard a little kid playing with like a car. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have my cousin with me. Her name is Emily. Hope you enjoy this video. Look at her. Have you ever like experienced anything scary?
Yep.
Any scary stories that you want to share with us?
Well, one day I was little, so like my mom always goes to send food. One night I woke up and I didn't see her. So when I get up, I see the television was turned off. But then I'd make a step and the television starts on. And I was so scared. And I started crying. Then my mom get in the house and she told me that I was standing up the control. So I turned on the television. And I was so scared.
So you turned on the TV.
Yep.
I have scary moments before. Like, okay, one time, this is just one of the many times, okay? Because for some reason, when I was like 15, 16, this would happen to me a lot. I don't know if you guys have heard of sleeping paralysis. That's when you are sleeping and then a moment when you're sleeping and you wake up, but your body is paralyzed. So you cannot move, but your eyes are open. Like inside, you are completely awake, but your body is still sleeping, if that makes any sense. You can look it up. They can probably explain it to you better. Google it. But basically, this used to happen to me a lot of times when I was younger. And I remember one of the times I woke up, I could not move my body at all. Like I felt like something was holding me back, and I just couldn't move at all. And I wanted to scream, I wanted to like say, stop, get off of me, like Jesus, in Jesus' name. I could not say anything, like I just couldn't say anything. And I remember like I would cry, and inside of me I would scream so loud, but nothing was coming out. And like, I don't know, like if my imagination will make this happen, but I will see like shadows. And it was just so scary. And then I remember that I would eventually come out of that, and then I would be able to talk or like scream out like in Jesus' name, you know, and then it would go away. But that happened to me so many times. One other time I remember that my dad, he used to always work till this day, but it was more often back then, work out of town, and he wouldn't come back until like maybe 2 weeks later. This one time my dad wasn't home, he was at work, and I clearly, and the thing is, when I was little I would sleep with my mom if my dad was at work. I clearly heard a little kid playing with like a car, you know, a little toy car. I clearly heard this little kid playing like in between the living room and the dining room, and I could hear how he was rolling his car on the floor and like how he was giggling. So I woke my mom up and I was like, there's a kid in the living room, you know, and my mom was like, no, there's nobody there, it's just your imagination. I made my mom get up because I was so like, I believed this so bad. Like I knew, like in my mind, there was a kid in the living room. And so we went to the living room and there was nobody there. Dun, 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 dun. Things like that used to happen to me a lot when I was little. I remember one time, and this is another time with my mom, my dad was at work, and my mom, she was in her room and I was in my room. I didn't stay with her that one time. I don't know why exactly I was still awake, but this is the most the most craziest one in my mind, because to me it was so scary. For some reason the camera just turned off And I thought the battery was dead, but it's still like 76%.
That's weird. Talking about ghosts, and that happened.
I know, I was just checking right now to make sure it's still recording. This is weird. And we're at the office, by the way, and it gets really creepy at night.
That was my top of messages of my friends. Don't worry.
I'm like, ugh. Like I was saying, so I think this story, I feel like it's the one that has scared me the most. So like I was saying, this time my dad was he was at work, and I was staying in my room, and I heard people in our living room again. And this time, like, I heard them so clear, like the people were there, and like I could hear them, and I could hear their steps, everything, and I was so scared, because I was like, oh my goodness. And I could hear them say something like, hey, take this, take the TV, take like everything. They were robbing us, and I was so scared to come out of my room and like say something. So I think it was like that for like 20 minutes, and I was crying in my room. I didn't know what to do. Eventually, until I guess I was brave enough to like get out of my room and run to my mom's room, and like I was crying, and I told her, there's someone in the living room. They want to hurt us. They're robbing us. And my mom said, there's no one here. There's no one at home. And she's like, I promise you. I was telling her, I promise you. Like, I heard them. They're in the living room. And I was like, but she was just gonna walk to the living room. I was like, no, get a bat. Because I was 100% sure that there was like 2 men in our living room robbing us, trying to hurt us. And so we go to the living room. My mom, she's like, ready to hit someone, and we go there, and there's no one there. There was no one there. The door wasn't open. It wasn't unlocked. It was completely locked. Everything was in its place. Like, everything was normal. And honestly, like, I don't know exactly what happened, because till this day, I'm like, I don't know now if there was really people there, but I know I wasn't sleeping. I know that for a fact. I was not sleeping, and all of this was going on. I probably sound crazy now. And just like little things like that, I don't know why, but when I was little, I was so like sensitive to those things. It used to happen to me a lot. And then I would tell my mom every time that it would happen to me. I would tell my mom, and she said that when she was my age at the time, like 15, 16, that used to happen to her a lot, and that it got to the moment when she was afraid of going to sleep, because the dark shadow would come to her and like grab her, and just little things like that. And it's just weird that used to happen to her, and then like I didn't know that until I started telling her about it, and then that's when she told me. And one last story, and this probably is silly, but to me it was real. Like my brother, he made fun of me. He will make fun of me.
Which one?
Robert.
Oh, I thought that Ariel.
No, Robert will make fun of me because, okay, so this is what happened. One night I was in my room, I was on my bed, and then out of nowhere, and keep in mind that this didn't happen when I was like 5 or 7. This happened when I was like 15 or 16. Okay, I should not be afraid of this. So I was in my room, I was on my bed, and I started hearing someone breathe under my bed. Like really heavy. Like,
and it was Negrita.
No, we didn't have Negrita.
Oh.
So that happened. I was so scared. I told my dad, I was like, there is someone under my bed, like they're breathing really hard. And so Robert did not let it go. He kept on laughing at me, like, kept going like that. I'm like, I'm so serious. I could hear that. Like, I heard someone under my bed breathing really hard. But my dad checked. There's no one under my bed. But till this day, I remember how it sounded because to me it was so real. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm haunted. And there's so many other stuff that has happened to me that's probably gonna go into another video. But yeah, just kind of like things that you get over, but it's like those things happen to me in a weird way. But yeah, this is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.